Hello, my name is Peter van der Sijde. I'm from the Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam, and I'm a teacher of entrepreneurship, and I teach entrepreneurship to all kinds of students at my university. And I'm glad I have the opportunity today to speak with you about opportunities. And as everybody always says, the world is full of ideas, and the only thing is that some people, they see them as just as ideas, while others are able to see an opportunity in those ideas and to turn those opportunities in value for themselves and for others. Those people we call entrepreneurs. When we're talking about opportunities, then what is an opportunity? And one of the sources we always turn to is to the dictionary. What is described in the dictionary as an opportunity? Well, an opportunity is a good chance for advancement or progress. On the one hand, that's okay. On the other hand, is that it? Well, I think that's not it. An opportunity, of course, is this new idea, maybe an invention, but it is also about your beliefs about what it is, and that you believe in it, that it can be a success, and that you can achieve those ends. But it is also about action. Actions that are necessary to bring it into the real world. So an opportunity is not just the idea, it's more than that. And when you, for example, look at the quotes that you see here in the picture, Mark Twain said, "I was seldom able to see an opportunity until it ceased to be one." And Thomas Edison said, "An opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls that look like work." When you look at those quotes, Mark Twain emphasizes that you have to believe in it, while Edison emphasizes that you need to take action. So opportunities are important. And I think when you look at entrepreneurship theory and thinking about entrepreneurship, then the opportunity is at the root of the entrepreneurial process. Stevenson already formulated in 1990 that entrepreneurship is the pursuit of opportunities. And you can add a lot of things to that, and let's see on the quote below that, or the formulation below it, that it is a pursuit of opportunities regardless of the resources presently at your disposal, and that you create value in the market for yourself and for others. So, when we're talking about those kind of things, those opportunities, where did they come from? Well, there are some people who did some studies about it and said, well, there are three sources for opportunities. The first one is you perceive them. The second one is that you discover them. And the third one is you create them. Well, let's have a better look at them. And have a look at this picture. You see the entrepreneurial process. You see the first part of it. And it goes from the initial idea to the business opportunity. And there are two important aspects there. It's the market and it's the resources. An initial idea that arises from your experience, your studies, your hobbies, your frustrations, your knowledge, your research, is transformed in a business idea only when there is a market, perceived or a real market, a present or a future market, and that there are the resources to produce it. If the resources are not there, then there is no business opportunity. To give you an example, well, my famous example is that of Leonardo da Vinci. He thought about a helicopter. Well, helicopter, great, but, well, we talk about the 1500s, and it lasted till the early 1900s, that it was actually realized. So between the idea and the realization of the idea was 400 years. And it had nothing to do with that there was no market, because there was a market. Everybody wanted to have this helicopter, to see, and from the city, from the air, to see the enemy coming, so you could prepare your armies for it. But it was the resources that he didn't have. He didn't have the resources to build the helicopter. That became possible in the early 1900s. Another example is Scott Chain. He studied what was done with a patent. And he found a patent that was taken as the initial idea by 8 entrepreneurs. And it turned out 4 of those entrepreneurs and their ideas turned to be successful, and 4 turned out to be not successful. And the reason for that was that in most of the cases, 3 of the 4 cases, there was no market. The market was not interested in the product that has been developed by those entrepreneurs. And the fourth example was that the entrepreneurs was looking for financing to realize it, but nobody was willing to put up the finance. So resources were lacking, market was lacking. So, and that brings me to the 2 points that when you have an idea, initial idea, that market and resources are important. Because we can't predict success, if only. Well, one of the things about entrepreneurs is that, of course, he's a risk taker. Yes, but they only take calculated risks. So, as mentioned earlier, entrepreneurship is the pursuit of opportunities, from opportunity recognition through the preparation stage to the exploitation stage. And in each of these 3 stages, market and resources play a role. When we're in the phase of the opportunity recognition, then we're talking about a perceived market. What do you think is a market? What could be a market? And what kind of resources do I need? You don't have to have them. You don't have the resources. The market doesn't have to be there. But you see something of a market. If you see a market, you could go in that direction. When you sketch out the resources that you need, are those attainable, those resources? Like Leonardo da Vinci, he didn't have the materials, so he couldn't build it. So in the next stage, when you prepare your opportunity and organize it, you have to do probably looking to the market and see if there's a potential. So you do a market study. And in this phase, you have to look at the accessibility of the resources. Are they there available for me? Because if you need resources that are available, but everybody or somebody denies you access to it, you can't build it. You can't produce it. So, and then the final step, the exploitation, yes, then you're on the real market with a real product. So then the proof of the pudding is in the eating. There's a real market and you had the resources to produce it. That is the situation. So market and resources are important, as I said. Can we predict success? No, we can't predict success. Can we reduce the risk? Yes, we can, by looking at the market and resources separately. So that is one thing, that is one example of creation that I gave. The example that Scott Shane used, from research to an idea. But there are 2 other sources. Discovery. An entrepreneur discovers the potential of, for example, new societal phenomena and technologies. The opportunities are there to be discovered. For example, look at the market for energy nowadays, or healthcare. Because the government changed the rules about how this is organized, there came opportunities for entrepreneurs, for everybody who was willing to see and act upon them. So the opportunities were there for everybody. Not everybody acted on them. Some did, others not. So the discovery, we call it exogenous shocks, change in technology, regulatory framework, demographic changes, people get older, so the grey market becomes interesting. So these are opportunities for entrepreneurs. Also, perception is an interesting source of opportunities. And some entrepreneurs have the ability to imagine the future. They see something and, well, to give you an example, I know this entrepreneur and he saw an empty building, an empty hospital. And he saw already there an amusement arcade. In all its detail, this should be there, that should be there, that should be a restaurant, that should be this, that should be that. He imagined this former hospital to be an amusement arcade. He bought it, he developed it, and made it into a success. The building of the hospital was there, available for everybody. So somebody else could have done it, but he did it. So that brings me to some final remarks. The first remark, I think, from a theoretical point of view, is that opportunity is a key concept in entrepreneurship theory. Opportunities that you take from the initial idea into a business opportunity, into a realized opportunity. Second thing is that where does they come from? Opportunities, well, they can be created by you, by yourself, from your research, etc. You can discover them because they are there to be discovered, and you can perceive them. But whatever it is, market and resources are important. You need a market, you need resources. If you lack the resources, you can't produce your goods or services. You need a market because you need people who buy your product or your service. So with those words, I'd like to finish my short presentation here, and I wish you all the luck as an entrepreneur in the future. Thank you.